Hello everyone, welcome to Easy English for Everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share to receive the latest videos. Now let's study together.
Hi everyone. Today, we will practice listening and speaking skills with a nice teacher topic. This story will help you understand how a good teacher can make a big difference in students' lives and maybe even remind you of a teacher you admire. Chapter 1. Meet Miss Linda. Once upon a time, in a small town called Greenfield, there was a school named Oakwood Elementary. This school was known for its friendly teachers and happy students. One of the most beloved teachers at Oakwood was Miss Linda, a kind and patient woman who taught the third grade. Miss Linda had bright, warm eyes that always seemed to twinkle, and her smile could light up the entire classroom. She had curly brown hair that she often tied back in a ponytail, and she wore colorful dresses that made her look like a friendly teddy bear. Her classroom was decorated with vibrant posters and colorful drawings made by her students, creating a cozy and inviting atmosphere. Every morning, Miss Linda would stand at the door of her classroom, greeting each student with a warm hug or a high five. She knew every student's name and always made an effort to remember their interests and hobbies. For example, she knew that Tommy loved playing soccer and Sarah was a talented artist. This made the students feel special and valued. Miss Linda's teaching style was unique and engaging. She used fun activities and games to make learning exciting. For instance, she would turn math problems into treasure hunts, where students had to solve equations to find hidden objects. She also organized storytelling sessions where students could share their own stories or act out scenes from their favorite books. One of the things that made Miss Linda so special was her ability to connect with her students on a personal level. She was always there to listen, offer advice, and provide a comforting presence. If a student was feeling sad or had a bad day, Miss Linda would take the time to talk to them and help them feel better. In this chapter, we meet Miss Linda and learn about her warm personality, her engaging teaching methods, and her deep connection with her students. This sets the stage for the adventures and lessons that will unfold in the following chapters. Chapter 2. The First Day of School. The first day of school at Oakwood Elementary was always a special day. The air was filled with excitement and a bit of nervousness as students and parents arrived to meet their new teachers. For the third graders, the highlight of the day was meeting Miss Linda. As the students entered the classroom, Miss Linda was already there, her warm smile welcoming them. She stood by the door, ready to greet each student with a friendly hug or a high five. The classroom was decorated with colorful posters and drawings, making it look like a cheerful and inviting place. "Good morning, everyone," Miss Linda said, her voice bright and cheerful. "Welcome to third grade. I'm Miss Linda, and I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you." The students slowly took their seats, some of them looking around curiously, while others were a bit shy. Miss Linda noticed a small boy named Tommy who was fidgeting in his seat. She walked over to him and gave him a gentle pat on the back. "Hey, Tommy," she said softly. "Are you excited for the new school year?" Tommy nodded, but his eyes were still a bit wide with nervousness. "I'm a little scared," he admitted. Miss Linda smiled reassuringly. "That's okay, Tommy. It's normal to feel a little nervous, but don't worry. We're going to have lots of fun and learn so much together. You're going to do great." Tommy's face relaxed, and he smiled back. "Thanks, Miss Linda." Next, Miss Linda approached a girl named Sarah, who was quietly sketching in her notebook. "Hi, Sarah," Miss Linda said. "I see you're already drawing. That's wonderful. Do you like to draw a lot?" Sarah looked up, her eyes lighting up. "Yes, I love drawing. I want to be an artist when I grow up." "That's fantastic," Miss Linda exclaimed. "I'm sure you'll be an amazing artist. We'll have lots of opportunities to draw and create in class." Sarah beamed with pride and excitement. After greeting all the students, Miss Linda gathered everyone around the rug for a brief introduction. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be your teacher this year. We're going to have a lot of fun, but we're also going to work hard and learn a lot. I want to know more about each of you. What are your favorite things to do? What do you want to learn this year? The students started to share their interests and goals, and Miss Linda listened attentively, making notes in her mind. He wanted to remember everything about her students to make their learning experience as personalized and enjoyable as possible. To break the ice, Miss Linda suggested a fun activity. Let's play a game to get to know each other better. We'll call it Two Truths and a Lie. Each of you will say two true things about yourself and one false thing. The rest of us have to guess which one is the lie. Who wants to go first? The students eagerly raised their hands, and the game began. Laughter and excitement filled the room as they learned interesting facts about their classmates. Miss Linda joined in, sharing that she had once eaten a whole pizza by herself, which was the lie, much to the students' amusement. By the end of the first day, the students felt more comfortable and excited about the new school year. Miss Linda's warm and engaging approach had set the tone for a wonderful year ahead. They knew they were in good hands with their new teacher, and they couldn't wait to see what adventures and lessons lay ahead. Chapter 3: The Class Pet. One sunny morning, Miss Linda walked into her classroom with a large, mysterious box. The students were already in their seats, chatting and getting ready for the day. When they saw the box, their curiosity was piqued. "Miss Linda, what's in the box?" Tommy asked, his eyes wide with excitement. Miss Linda smiled mischievously. "Well, I have a surprise for all of you today. But first, I need you to make a guess. What do you think might be inside?" The students started to shout out their ideas. "Is it a toy? Is it a book? Is it a new game?" Sarah raised her hand. "Is it a class pet?" Miss Linda's eyes sparkled. "That's a great guess, Sarah. Let's see if you're right." She carefully opened the box, and out popped a small, fluffy hamster. The classroom erupted in cheers and squeals of delight. "Meet Mr. Whiskers," Miss Linda announced. "He's our new class pet. We're going to take care of him together, and he'll be a great addition to our classroom family." The students were thrilled. They gathered around to get a closer look at Mr. Whiskers, who was busy exploring his new home. Miss Linda explained the responsibilities that came with having a class pet. "We need to make sure Mr. Whiskers is well fed, has clean water, and a clean cage. We'll also need to give him some playtime. I'll create a schedule so that everyone can have a turn taking care of him. Who's ready to help?" All the hands in the room shot up. Miss Linda laughed and wrote down the names of volunteers. She then assigned the first group to feed Mr. Whiskers and give him some water. As the day went on, the students took turns interacting with Mr. Whiskers. Some of them read to him, while others gently petted him. Miss Linda watched with pride as her students showed such care and responsibility. During recess, the students were so excited that they couldn't stop talking about Mr. Whiskers. Tommy and his friends decided to build a small fort for Mr. Whiskers using blocks and paper. Sarah sketched a picture of Mr. Whiskers in her notebook, adding colorful details. When they returned to the classroom, Miss Linda gathered the students around the rug. "I'm so proud of all of you for taking such good care of Mr. Whiskers. He's already feeling at home, and that's because of your kindness and responsibility. Taking care of a pet is a big job, but you're all doing a fantastic job." The students beamed with pride. They felt a sense of accomplishment and responsibility, knowing that they were making a difference in Mr. Whiskers' life. To wrap up the day, Miss Linda suggested a writing activity. "Why don't we write a short story about Mr. Whiskers? You can imagine what his life was like before he came to our classroom, or you can write about a fun adventure he might have with us. Who's ready to write? The students eagerly grabbed their pencils and notebooks, and the classroom filled with the sound of pencils scratching on paper. Miss Linda walked around, offering encouragement and suggestions. She read some of the stories aloud, and the class laughed and cheered at the creative and funny ideas. By the end of the day, the students had not only learned about responsibility and teamwork, but also had a new friend to love and care for. Mr. Whiskers had become a beloved member of the class, and the students were already looking forward to more adventures with their furry friend. Chapter 4: The Field Trip to the Zoo. The next week, Miss Linda announced an exciting field trip to the local zoo. The students were overjoyed at the news. They had been learning about different animals in class, and a trip to the zoo would be the perfect way to see them up close. Class, we're going on a field trip to the zoo next Friday, Miss Linda said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. We'll get to see all sorts of animals, from lions and tigers to monkeys and giraffes. It's going to be a fantastic day. The students erupted in cheers and applause. Tommy raised his hand. Miss Linda, can we pet the animals? Miss Linda laughed. Well, we can try to pet some of the smaller, friendly animals, but we have to be very careful and follow the zookeeper's instructions. Some animals might be a bit too wild for petting. Sarah's eyes widened. Can we see the elephants? Of course, Miss Linda replied. Elephants are one of the most popular animals at the zoo. They're so big and gentle. We'll make sure to visit them. The students spent the week preparing for the trip. They read books about different animals, made posters, and even practiced their best animal sounds. Miss Linda helped them create a list of questions they could ask the zookeepers to learn more about the animals. Finally, the day of the field trip arrived. The students were so excited that they arrived early, chattering with anticipation. Miss Linda greeted them with a big smile and a bag of snacks for the trip. Everyone, grab a snack and get into the bus. We're off to the zoo, she said, her voice full of enthusiasm. The bus ride to the zoo was filled with laughter and excitement. The students sang songs and played games, and Miss Linda shared fun facts about the animals they would see. When they arrived at the zoo, the students were greeted by the sight of colorful animal enclosures and the sounds of animals calling to each other. Remember, everyone, stay with your group and follow the rules, Miss Linda reminded them. We want to have a safe and fun day. The first stop was the monkey exhibit. The students were amazed to see the monkeys swinging from tree to tree and playing with each other. Miss Linda pointed out the different types of monkeys and explained their behaviors. Monkeys are very smart and social animals, she said. They live in groups called troops and communicate with each other using different sounds and gestures. Tommy raised his hand. Miss Linda, can we feed the monkeys? Miss Linda smiled. Not today, Tommy. Feeding the animals is usually not allowed, as it can disrupt their diets. But we can watch them and learn a lot just by observing their behavior. Next, they visited the lion and tiger enclosures. The students were in awe of the majestic cats, their powerful roars echoing through the air. Did you know that lions are the only cats with manes? The mane helps them look bigger and more intimidating to other animals. Sarah's eyes widened. Wow, that's so cool. After the big cats, they moved on to the giraffes. The students were fascinated by the tall, gentle animals, their long necks reaching up to the treetops. Giraffes have the longest necks of any land animal, Miss Linda explained. They use their long necks to reach leaves and branches that other animals can't get to. Tommy raised his hand again. Miss Linda, can we pet the giraffes? Miss Linda laughed. Not today, Tommy. Giraffes are wild animals and need to be respected from a distance, but we can watch them and learn about their habits. The students spent the rest of the day exploring the zoo visiting the elephants, the penguins, and the reptile house. They asked the zookeepers many questions and learned fascinating facts about each animal. At the end of the day, they gathered at the picnic area for a snack and a debrief. Miss Linda asked the students to share their favorite parts of the trip. "I loved seeing the monkeys," Tommy said excitedly. "I thought the giraffes were so beautiful," Sarah added. Miss Linda smiled. "I'm so glad you all had a great time. Today, we learned a lot about different animals and how to respect and care for them. Remember, animals are an important part of our world, and it's our job to protect them." The students nodded in agreement, feeling a sense of responsibility and wonder. The field trip to the zoo had not only been a fun and exciting day, but also a valuable learning experience. They had gained a deeper appreciation for the animal kingdom and a greater sense of curiosity about the world around them. Chapter 5: The Art Project. After the exciting field trip to the zoo, Miss Linda decided to channel the students' enthusiasm into a creative project. She announced that they would be working on a large mural of their favorite animals from the zoo. "Class, we're going to create a big mural of the animals we saw at the zoo," Miss Linda said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Each of you will get to draw your favorite animal, and we'll put all the drawings together to make one big, beautiful mural. It will be a wonderful way to remember our trip and show everyone what we learned." The students were thrilled at the idea. They gathered around Miss Linda as she explained the project in more detail. "First, we'll brainstorm and decide which animals we want to include in the mural. Then, each of you will choose an animal and start drawing. We'll use markers, crayons, and paints to make our drawings vibrant and colorful. Once everyone's drawing is done, we'll put them all together on a large piece of paper to create our mural." Sarah raised her hand. "Miss Linda, can we draw the giraffes?" "Of course, Sarah. Giraffes are a great choice," Miss Linda replied. "And Tommy, you can draw the monkeys if you like." Tommy nodded eagerly. "Yes, I want to draw the monkeys." The students were divided into small groups, and Miss Linda provided each group with art supplies. She showed them how to sketch the basic shapes of their chosen animals and then add details and colors. The classroom was soon filled with the sounds of pencils scratching on paper and the vibrant colors of markers and paints. Miss Linda walked around, offering guidance and encouragement. "Remember, it's okay if your drawing doesn't look exactly like the animal. The most important thing is to have fun and express yourself creatively." As the students worked, they shared stories and memories from the zoo trip. Tommy and his friends talked about the monkeys' playful antics, while Sarah and her group discussed the gentle nature of the giraffes. Miss Linda listened and joined in the conversation, making the art project a collaborative and enjoyable experience. After a few days of hard work, the drawings were complete. Miss Linda helped the students arrange their artwork on a large piece of paper, carefully aligning each drawing to create a cohesive mural. The final result was stunning. The mural featured a vibrant array of animals, from playful monkeys and majestic lions to gentle giraffes and colorful parrots. Miss Linda stood back and admired the mural. "Wow, everyone! This is incredible. You've all done such a fantastic job. I can't wait to show it to the rest of the school." The students beamed with pride, feeling a sense of accomplishment and creativity. Miss Linda then suggested that they write a short paragraph about their favorite animal and why they chose to draw it. The students eagerly grabbed their notebooks and began writing. Tommy wrote about the monkeys, describing their playful nature and how they reminded him of his friends. Sarah wrote about the giraffes, explaining how their long necks and gentle demeanor fascinated her. Each student shared their unique perspective and personal connection to the animals they had drawn. Once the writing was complete, Miss Linda helped the students attach their paragraphs to the mural. The final touch was a title, Our Zoo Adventure. The next day, Miss Linda and her students presented the mural to the rest of the school during assembly. The other students and teachers were amazed by the vibrant and detailed artwork. Miss Linda explained the project, and the students shared their favorite parts of the zoo trip. The mural was displayed in the school's main hallway, and it quickly became a favorite spot for students and visitors. It served as a reminder of the fun and educational experience of the zoo trip and the creativity and teamwork of Miss Linda's class. Through this art project, the students not only honed their artistic skills but also developed a deeper appreciation for the animal kingdom and the importance of collaboration. Miss Linda's guidance and encouragement had once again created a meaningful and memorable learning experience. Chapter 6: The Library Adventure. One sunny afternoon, Miss Linda decided to take her class on a trip to the school library. She knew that the library was a treasure trove of knowledge and stories, and she wanted to instill a love of reading in her students. "Class, today we're going to the library," Miss Linda announced, her eyes twinkling with excitement. "We'll get to explore all the books and find some new stories to read. Who's ready for a library adventure?" The students cheered and gathered their things. As they walked to the library, Miss Linda reminded them of the library rules. "Remember, we need to be quiet and respectful. We can talk in whispers, and we should handle the books carefully. Let's make sure we leave the library as neat and tidy as we found it." When they arrived at the library, the students were amazed by the rows of bookshelves and the cozy reading nooks. The librarian, Mrs. Johnson, greeted them with a warm smile. "Welcome, Miss Linda's class. I'm Mrs. Johnson, and I'm here to help you find some."
Hello everyone, welcome to Easy English for Everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share to receive the latest videos. Now let's study together.